Hello once again, and let's talk importing your own backgrounds. They're really quite easy to do, and the secret with it is obviously gain your backgrounds from the internet, perhaps photographs you've already stored on your PC or laptop. Wherever they are, that's fine. Here I've got a couple of items to show you. First of all, the view out the background of the window, the television, the seat of the chair, and I'm even going to show you how to put your own wallpaper in. So let's go and talk first of all backgrounds. Well, there's my window, and you're probably aware now we have a control here in backgrounds, and in backgrounds we can simply go and choose a new background, and there it is. And it's a case of selecting import this image for this design or any design, or alternatively bringing in panoramic views. And panoramic views are the ones now that you can actually get on with a smartphone, importing them in so that they appear to be moving around the room as you do in your visuals. Here I've chosen image of Edinburgh Castle as an example, and I can choose to bring that in, and once it's into my background area, then it's a case of selecting it and choosing. There you can see Edinburgh background, but it's all about size. This is what matters most. And the suggestion when you're bringing in anything, here's another one of Edinburgh Castle, and you can see now that that has a completely distorted image in there, simply because the image size was the wrong size. So size does matter, and there I'm going to change that one back, and it's more appropriate. In the background area, if you need to resize these images, it's usually better to do it in an external piece of software, something like Paint Shop or one of the Paint Box programs where you can resize the image. Now in terms of the television, slightly different kettle of fish. If I were to right click over that television and then actually come in here and say change the material, selecting TV, and in there you can see that there are various images or textures around the actual television, and XTV screen is the actual screen, this area here. So if I were wanting to, I could click on that line and then choose the word replace. Now in here you'll find that it automatically goes in and chooses catalog colors and the advanced graphic area. Well, I could actually choose now, perhaps just above it, to have an orange, and choosing that, selecting that, once again you'll find that the picture has changed on the television. However, if I wanted to go in there now and choose again to change the texture of the TV, to replace it, I could look outside at my images, and this is the key to all of this. And here are my images, perhaps of Edinburgh Castle, and suggesting now a OK and an OK again, and there you find that the picture has actually changed. But heaven forbid, what's gone wrong? Well, it's this simple. Whenever something goes wrong, do always go back. Notice what I'd actually done was click on the black and not XTV. Well, we can reset that. It can go back to its reset color, so that when I choose OK, the actual surround of the television is actually black. And if I go into the television again, changing the material, I need to click on that line, the television screen, to replace it. And here it could be that I could choose any one of these things in here, my images, or maybe there's an image there that I haven't quite got yet, so I could click manage material. And in here it's asking me, do I want to import something for this design or any design in the future? Well, if I choose any design, here is my selection. I'm going to go on now and find my desktop. I have a folder in here, and there are some ready-made television scenes, and I could go in there and perhaps choose the Grand Prix and select open. There it is, it's available for every other design that I choose. Therefore, just clicking now and saying Canadian Grand Prix and choosing and selecting OK one more time, and you'll find the image on the television has changed. So it's very effective. It can be also very topical. Just imagine if you were sending your clients topical pictures on the television. So that's a television set there. Here is a chair. So I can select now to change the material of the chair. And it's saying to me here, it has two color choices. One, the pad, and two, the wooden background. And it's choosing the pine area. So if I want to change the pad, I click and replace. There is a number of choices in here. If I click on autumn, you'll find that it's actually going to change. But again, I could choose in here my images. And I've actually got in there a pattern of a pad, and I can choose again OK, and that is actually a pattern of a pad that's there. It's showing itself really quite nicely. So there's a lot of things we can do in here, but I just want to show you a couple of extra little snippets. If, for instance, I choose to select the wall and change the material of the wall, it's suggesting to me that the color currently is white. Well, I could go in there and choose to replace it. I could actually go in there and say catalog colors, advanced graphics, none. I could come in here and choose wallpaper, for instance, and there are a number of wallpapers. A very bold one there. I'm simply going to choose OK, and there is my wallpaper changing. But I just want to demonstrate to you that we need to be slightly aware of these images, of what we're doing and what we're not doing. So if I go back and reset that back to white, choosing and check marking OK, you'll see it go back to white. There it is. I'm going to right click, select wall, and I'm going to replace it now. And I just want to go and find my own images. And at the moment in my images I don't have very much in there except for this one image. This I actually chose from a Farrell and Ball, and I'm just going in here now and choosing to add for only this design an area, and I'm going to go and find my area that I've chosen to download some Farrell and Ball wallpapers. And in this design I'm going to go in there now and choose perhaps this yellow stripe. I can open it, it's put it in there, and it's suggesting now that I select OK. In there is my design. There it is. Might have been more convenient to actually rename that to something more suitable, but I can choose and check OK, and there is my wallpaper coming on. But I don't know if you can actually see it. It looks like a very large tile, something like 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters. And that's because that image that I've imported was only a small sample. So let me show you another way of doing this. If I were to now select wall 1 and reset it back, so I'm just pressing reset, it goes back to a white color. Let's think of this as something different. And if I click on top of the tram line of the wall and then come into insert and coverings and choose perhaps, I don't know, standard or wall, it really doesn't matter. And on here now it's asking me to make a zone. I can choose the category, how high it's going to go from the ceiling to the floor, and choose OK. There is my zone. I can now modify it. I can modify it, and that's actually asking me to put a tile on there. But I don't want to put a tile on there. I want to display my surfaces, and in here there is a tile already, perhaps a picture of a lawn and a rockery, and what you're seeing is it's repeating itself every 100 millimeters. Well, let's go and see what we can do. If I go and choose to import an image for any design and then choose to go and select my furrow and ball in here, choosing that yellow pattern once again and open that, it's asking me to rename it because I've already used it. And if I select to call this yellow stripes so that I can reference it in the future, there is my yellow stripes. I've named it. I'm going to select OK. There's my yellow stripes, and you can see it's repeating the pattern regularly. Well, if I make the height of that now the height of the ceiling 2.5, but if I came in and selected 250 and said to it OK, notice now we don't have all of that tiling effect that we've got going on. We've got in there a repeating pattern. It's one long length and it's only repeating it every 250, so that if I confirm that now, go up and choose to give you a perspective view, there you'll see the wallpaper coming on fairly seamlessly. I think you would agree. So tiling on many occasions is better unless you're able to resize an image, which is done through PaintShop, Paintbox, or any of the other external pieces of software. So I hope this has helped you a little bit to understand how you can manage your own backgrounds. And lastly, let's just go back and look at some of the basics. To actually manage your material, it's held in the Home tab. Manage materials is where you can import and place them in the user image folder within Fusion. It's this design or any design. Just clipping on any one of those, then choosing what you want to be calling it simply when you open it. There it is, and at any time I can come in and now choose to perhaps delete that image for the future. It's as simple as that. So do look out for the other YouTube channels that we have, and I hope you've enjoyed today's session.